Oh yeah. Cleaver is back. Finally got the 408 Cleaver back. Had to do some new pistons in it. If you guys follow the channel, you saw the mishap I had with the pistons, so here we are. We got new pistons, rings, gaskets, you know, the important stuff. Had to get my flywheel machined. Got a set of ARP bolts for the intake manifold. All the rest of the gaskets, and in here, those are the bad pistons. Let's take a look at those pistons and see just how bad they are. Guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for stopping by the channel to check this out. Oh, let me get my nuts out of the way. Big nuts. This is my blower. This guy needs a little bit of cleaning up. So, get him off the side. What I'm going to do is take a look at the pistons from my car, little mishap I had. So if you guys remember, I started spraying some nitrous, everything was going great, and then all of a sudden I lost fuel pressure while I was under boost and spraying nitrous. So, recipe for disaster. So let's look at how the pistons fared, huh? Alright, oof. A little bit more room here. I think I'll have to move my nuts out of the way. Ew-wee. Look at that. So I was told, so if you're doing trick flow stuff, especially the Clever variety, the pistons that I bought a while back were made by Probe. Now they're made by Wiseco, and from what I'm told, they're a better piston. I'll let you guys discuss that. Well, so there is the piston. So it definitely doesn't look the greatest. So we had to hone the engine. You can see there's a nice little burn mark right there on the piston. There's also some scoring right in this area here. The skirting. See, they got a little boogered up there also. So we must have got her hot because the rings don't have a ton of tension anymore. Yep. So what happens when you're spraying nitrous and boost and lose fuel pressure. I have fixed that problem so that won't happen again. Yes, they're all pretty much, you can see they've all got a nice little burn mark here. They've got, this one doesn't have much scoring in the cylinder wall. You can see a little bit right along here. Not terrible. This one looks really good actually. And so this one must not have got much nitrous in it while we were running. It did get some scoring here on the skirt. Nothing crazy. I really didn't have a ton of miles on it. Yeah, that one's probably the best one of the bunch so far. Yeah, that one's definitely missing a chunk here. Definitely some scoring. Not the worst of them by far yet. Yeah, this one's got a little bit of curling in on the edge right here. I'll get you guys closer so you can see this. So there's the, you can see a little bit right there where it got burned a little. There's some scoring on it. That is not good at all. My machinist told me that the iron block, these pistons tend to give or score or get boogered up like that sooner than the block will. So the block was decent. They just had to give it a hone. We thought we were going to have to bore it out, but they gave it a nice solid hone job, and it was good. This one, wow. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but you see all that flaking on top of the piston? That's actually parts of the piston that melted off. This one also had the ground strap on the plug melted off, so it's all of that material got melted off. That one looks nasty. Scoring's not bad on this one. If I would have run it much more or harder, probably would have hurt something very badly, but you can see that one doesn't look the greatest. Oh boy. This one doesn't look that good either. You can see that this one's also got some stuff on the top of the piston. We'll call that some metal from the piston going bad. Got some scoring on the top of the piston, but nothing crazy. Some on the skirt here. That one's pretty bad. Yeah, so this one's not. Oh yeah, this is the really bad one. This was the one that made me really concerned here. So you can see it's got a good piece of the piston. It's got some chunks on the top of the piston, but also the scoring on this one's pretty bad. See that right there? So luckily that didn't do much to the block. We were able to get a nice hone job and everything looks good. Look at that. Top of the pistons look decent. We're getting some decent combustion going on, so that's a bonus. Yeah, this one's got some gummed up marks on it too. You can see the right there. Wow. Yeah, so the only other surprise was that so I had been revving this thing out pretty good. The only other surprise that we ran into was my link bar roller lifters. So these collapsed. So we ended up going with a new set of them. So I don't know if I really don't know how the inside of these look, but I might take them apart and try to rebuild them. That's not my thing. I don't know much about these, so I might have to lean on somebody else that does. But yeah, we did have to replace the lifters. That was also an issue. Some of them, like I said, were collapsed. So basically what happens is you set your valve lash to 0, then you go another, I can't remember what the cam specs were, but another like a quarter of a turn, and it's supposed to compress this in here, and then the hydraulic fluid, basically the oil that goes inside of this, keeps the tension on the push rod, and then as it goes up and down, that absorbs any of the tension on it. So these hydraulic roller lifters are supposed to absorb any of the shock. We'll see if I go much higher in power, or if I want to rev much higher. We'll have to go with a solid cam instead of the hydraulic roller setup. So we'll see. We'll see how this the setup works now. Kind of go from there. So those weren't that bad. I think these are like $300. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. And then the only other thing was the flywheel. So we had to get the flywheel resurfaced and taken care of. It was pretty gummed up. One of my last videos, you can see we're on the dyno and it was slipping a little bit. So got the flywheel taken care of, nice and resurfaced. It's been sitting a little bit, so a little surface rust. And we had to do a little bit of cosmetics to the pressure plate and the clutch disc also. But this is the meat and potatoes of it. There's one of these that looks good, but yeah, I don't know. We'll the new ones, I'll take care of this one a little bit better. I do have a safeguard in place on my engine now for fuel pressure. So if the fuel pressure drops, then we shut the nitrous off and cut some power. So that'll be nice. All right, guys, it is time for me to start getting this in there. So hopefully you enjoyed a look through the pistons. Wasn't my favorite thing to have to do is yank it out and do more work, but it is what it is. I painted a lot of stuff, cleaned up a lot of stuff. It's going to look a lot nicer now. So I'm going to get started on this. You guys stay tuned. In a few days, we'll check back in and see where I'm at. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. See you next time.